Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Leonardo and in this channel we talk about music composition and production. In this series we are exploring sound design and how to recreate the most common sound effects you might need from scratch. In today's video I will show you how you can recreate the sound of the thunder with only using Serum. But before we start, do you like how it sounds? Well then stick around because this is gonna be a lot of fun. Sounds from the nature and more specifically from the weather are extremely useful because they have to be in almost any scene that you have to put sound into. The problem with those is that you cannot normally go and record them yourself because it's difficult, expensive and even dangerous. In today's video, we will create a patch in Serum that will allow you to play a storm so you can make it quieter or stronger depending on your needs. But before we start, I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, because that would help me grow my channel and keep making this content for you. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, of course we will start from a new session because we don't need anything else for this. And the first thing that we will do is to create a software instrument track to which we will add, of course, an instance of our Serum. And this will be the only track and the only instance of Serum that we will be using. First of all, we will get rid of the first oscillator because we don't need it for now. And we will use some noise generator. See, the reason I have chosen this specific sound is because it has some variation on it, and that will be very useful when we try to create a sound that is not very monotone. Then we have a bone crusher sound. Let's start crushing the sound itself. First thing, we will bring the pitch down. And this is something that I like doing. We will not be EQing, but I like to have this visual aid here. So you can see actually how the spectrum and where it is moving around. It can help because sometimes not all frequencies can be heard very well, especially deep bass or sub bass. Let's bring it a little bit more down. That's where we want it. Great, I don't need this anymore for now. So of course the sound is still very low in volume. And let's bring it up by using some distortion, and then we will compress maybe a little bit. In this case, we will get rid of the high frequencies. So we will do we will cut, and then the type of distortion that we'll be using for now is tube. We drive all the way up and see how it sounds like. Let's correct a little bit, take some of the high frequencies. Yeah. Now it's time to filter this because it is not that sub bass that we're looking for. So let's use, of course, a low pass filter. And let's check our EQ again and see how we're doing spectrum wise. This is what we want. We have some resonance there. We could try to get rid of it, but yeah, it's not really relevant. It will be hidden amongst other sounds. So let's keep going. Okay, this is exactly what we want. Now we have shaped the sound to what we're looking for, and we will do something that is extremely powerful in Serum, which is to resample this to an oscillator, so we can use it anytime in combination with other modules again. For that, we will go to Menu and then Resample to Oscillator A. What this does, it has created a wavetable with the sound that we have created. Let's check how it sounds like. We deactivate the noise because everything is rendered to Oscillator A, and then let's press a key. What is this? Alright, I guess we will have to bring the octave down a little bit to recreate exactly the sound that we had before, or at least similar. Quick trick for those who don't know, you can always use an LFO with a ramp and link it to the wavetable position so that whenever you play it, it will play the whole wavetable in one go. But this does not sound quite like what we have created before, so let's do some tweaking here. Let's edit this wavetable. And first of all, what we will do is to remove the DC offset. Then we will normalize same. Then we will crossfade all the samples so that there is no zero crossing. After we have processed our wavetable, it's time to take out the effects for a moment and see how it sounds like. As you can see, that's quite some popping and very high frequencies here, but we will get rid of those with the use of a filter. So let's activate the filter, make sure that we are routing Oscillator A to the filter, and then adjust the cutoff to our liking. That's kind of where we want it. Great. Now that we have the first part of our sound made, we have to start adding the thunders. And for that, we will use again the noise generator, but in this case, a very specific noise, and you wouldn't guess it. Sometimes it's very unexpected how you can achieve certain sounds. I have tried some of them, but the closest one that I could find was, surprisingly, a paperback. How does a paperback sound like? Let's morph this. Let's bend this to make this do what we want it to do. So, first of all, we will bring up the level because we want to be able to hear it. And we activate pitch tracking because we want to have control over how this sounds like. We can keep this even here, it's perfectly fine. Let's, of course, start adding again some distortion, and in this case, we will use a very different distortion. We will use asymmetric distortion. Do you start hearing what we are doing here? But still, it's not really quite there because it seems that the randomness still cannot be felt. We need somehow to blur everything, and we are also mixing this thunder with the drone that we have created before. So, of course, a very good way to blur everything together is by use of some time effects, and in this case we will start with reverb. Yeah, we want a very big size and a very long decay around here. Everything else can be left as it is. Yeah. Next thing we will add is some delay. But this delay doesn't have to be very noticeable because we cannot hear the repetition. What we want is to add some randomness. So we will bring it to 5% or around 5%. Yes. We want this to be linked, and we will make this a couple of bars so that the ear cannot hear the repetition anymore. We will also filter this heavily and bring it quite around here. And now let's check it. Almost unnoticeable. That's the kind of delay that we want. It's the thunder striking, bouncing against the very distant mountain and then coming back to your ear many seconds later. That's the effect we're looking for. Now we can distort everything that we have created, and bring it up in volume by the use of a compressor. Let's check it. You're almost there. Almost there. I'm not playing anything, but the sound still remains because of the time effects. The problem that we have now is that we still have too many high frequencies. Actually, we can check it here if we hear them. It sounds almost as if the sound of the wind was hitting the microphone, and that's something I don't really want. So, again, let's filter. But this time we will not filter very heavily. Around here, it seems that it works. Let's check how it sounds with the first part of the noise that we have created. All right, it is saturating a little bit too much. Let's fix the levels. Actually, let's mix this from Serum itself. First we will set the bass level, and then we will set the thunder level. So we start from nothing. Works around there, and then let's see how it sounds like with the thunder. Great, now we have to do a couple more things. First of all, giving more realism to the thunder, and secondly, giving us more control on how to play it. One of the first things we will do is to use an LFO. And why? If you recall the sound of a thunder, it is not constant in pitch, so when you hear it, it does something like... Of course, that's just the curve in pitch going down, not only in pitch and volume. So we will use the second LFO for this one. We will bring it down like this, and we will assign it to pitch and level. For the level, we will bring it here. Pitch, not too much actually. We will put the pitch in like -30. Yeah. And then adjust it to the middle. Yeah, that like 21, 22. Let's check it now. Our LFO is a little bit too fast. Actually, let's make it 2 bars. We need to adjust also the speed of the second LFO to 2 bars again, and let's check it now. Another parameter that we want to assign is also velocity, because it's very intuitive that the harder you press the keys, the stronger the thunder sounds, and that is again automating level and pitch with velocity. So we will add this here, we adjust it again, and we will add it again to pitch, and we adjust the pitch once more. Let's check it now. Finally, it is just a matter of adjusting the filter in the end of the chain to open or close our storm a little bit more. I will start with a very heavy cutoff, and then let's open it up until the point in which I find it that's kind of working. So this is what it will be now. is almost inaudible. Of course, there's still a lot that you can modify depending on your needs. You might need maybe a much more striking sound, or maybe you want a much more subtle sound. You can always change the noise that you are using, the noise generator that you are using to recreate the thunder. In my case, paperback worked. It might not be the same for you. You can also tweak the different parameters in the effects, and I actually encourage you to try different types of distortion, different openings in the filter, different delays, or even different types of reverb, because that will definitely bring you closer to the sound you're looking for. In any case, this is my thunder, and this is how we achieved it. And that was it. Now you have a thunderstorm at the tip of your fingers. If you have liked this video, please consider giving me a like or comment, whatever you want to ask me. I am very open to questions and conversation, and if you have really enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel, because as I said before, it will help me a lot growing it. In any case, that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next week.